Hey everyone, thank you all for coming back to class. I'm so happy to see you all. Over the course of the weekend, I got to see kangaroos. There are so many fun and interesting things about kangaroos, but my favorite part is that they get to jump around all day. So I thought it would be fun if we could act like kangaroos. We will use different pieces of equipment and learn all the types of ways that you can jump. Can you all show me how kangaroos jump? Great, great. Now, as we all know, our stop and go signals for the lesson are ready, go, and freeze. And with that, let's get into our first activity. For our first activity, as you can see, we all have a rope placed in front of us. What we're going to be doing is, on one side of the rope, standing on both feet, jumping off of both feet, over our rope, and landing on both feet. And I want you to try and see how many times you can jump over the rope without falling. Ready, go. Freeze. Thanks everyone for freezing and staying quiet. I think we're ready for our next activity. For this one, instead of jumping over our rope, we are going to be jumping alongside our rope. So keeping the rope where it is, we're going to start at one end all the way back, and we're going to jump, swinging our arms forward, still taking off on 2 feet and landing on 2 feet, and seeing how far along the rope that we can get. Remember to not stand too close to your rope and to do it without falling. Let's see how far you can go. Ready, go. Freeze. Nice. I saw a lot of long jumps, and that's exactly what we were looking for. For this next activity, we're going to be using hula hoops. They will be set up right in front of you in your own general space, and what we're going to be doing is jumping over the hula hoop. We're still going to be taking off on 2 feet and landing on 2 feet, but what's really important here is our arm swing, so that's what I want us all to focus on. We're going to be swinging our arms back and then forward and upward, and that's going to help give us momentum to cross over the hula hoop. So I want you to see how many times you can land perfectly still over your hula hoop. Ready, go. Freeze. I really like what I'm seeing, but it looks like it might be a little bit too easy for some of our friends. So if you want to challenge yourself a little bit, instead of taking off on 2 feet, you'll take off on 1 foot. Still landing on 2 feet, but it'll be a little bit more challenging to see if you can get over the hula hoop. So it's really important that we're still utilizing our arms when we're swinging and exploding off of one leg. Give that a try and let me know how it goes. Ready, go. Freeze. I love what I'm seeing, and I love that you guys are wanting to challenge yourself. Let's go ahead and move on to the next activity. As you can see, we all have a hurdle placed in front of us in our general space. We're going to be using that for this activity, and we're going to be going back to taking off on 2 feet and landing on 2 feet for this one. So we'll start behind our hurdle, and then we're going to be taking off on 2 feet and jumping over our hurdle, landing on 2 feet on the other side. This one is going to be a little bit more challenging because instead of jumping over a flat object like our hula hoops or our rope, we're going to be jumping over a hurdle, which is a little bit shorter than our knee. So with this one, instead of swinging forward with our arms, it's really important that we're also going really high with our arms and we're reaching for the sky. One thing to pay attention to as well is we want to land really softly. So after you land, it's important to bend your knees, your hips, and your ankles. Try and imagine that your feet are sponges and you're just soaking up all the energy when you land, and you're nice and quiet when you land. With that being said, we're ready to go. Let's hear some quiet jumping and landing over hurdles. Ready, go. Really nice job. The landings were so quiet, and I think that we can make this drill a little bit harder. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go around and add a second hurdle right after your first one. So you're going to use big arm swings, jump up and over your first one, land, and then immediately take off and go over the second one as well. This one will really make sure that you're landing and you're bouncing and you're utilizing that arm swing. So when I say go, go ahead and take off and jump over both of those hurdles. Remember, landing really quietly. Ready, go. Freeze. Really nice job. I was hearing landings that were so quiet, I forgot that I was even in class. I think we're ready to move on to our next activity, and at your feet you will all see that we have jump ropes. For this activity we're going to be jump roping, and what makes this one a little bit different than what we've been doing is that now we're taking out the big arm swings that allow us to jump, and we're keeping our arms at our sides while we're using our jump rope. We're still going to be taking off on 2 feet and landing on 2 feet, and I want you to see how many times you can jump in a row without making a mistake. Ready? Go. Freeze. I have to stop us there. You all are doing so good at jump ropes, we could go on for hours. With that, that was our last activity for the day, but before we head home, I do have a few questions for you guys regarding what we learned today. The first one is, what is one of the cues that we used in today's lesson? Just one. If I could get a quiet hand, What was one of the cues that we used? Exactly, thank you. We used big arm swings up and forward. That being said, why is it important that we use big arm swings when we're jumping for a distance? When we were trying to get as far along the rope as possible, why was it important that we were swinging our arms? Yes, very good. It was so that we could give extra momentum and power taking us forward. Does anybody remember what the cue sponge referred to? When I said pretend you're like a sponge, why was that important? Quiet hand. Exactly. We were going to absorb the impact to help us land really quietly. Our next question is, what is one of the different types of jumping that we learned today? Quiet hand. Yes, thank you. Off of 2 feet and onto 2 feet. We also did off of 1 foot onto 2 feet. Very nice. And lastly, why is it important to reach for the sky when we're jumping really high? Exactly. We're trying to get that momentum and power up so we can go up and over our hurdles. You all did so amazing in class today. I'm excited to see what we do tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye.